The West slammed Russian President Vladimir Putin for putting his nuclear forces on alert, with the U.S. saying it was because his invasion has been halted by fierce Ukrainian resistance. Take a look. Now, Ukraine demanded an immediate Russian ceasefire and troop withdrawal on Monday as its delegation arrived in Belarus for talks with Russian negotiators on the fifth day of the Kremlin's offensive. However, earlier, Ukraine held out no great hope after agreeing to talks with Russia in Belarus, the launchpad for attacks on Kiev. Ukraine said Sunday that it had agreed to send a delegation to meet Russian representatives on the border with Belarus. However, with his government reporting hundreds of civilian deaths and Russian troops besieging key cities, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said he was skeptical about the talks.
Скажу відверто, як завжди, я не дуже вірю в результат цієї зустрічі, але нехай спробують. Щоб потім у жодного громадянина України не було жодного сумніву, що я, як президент, не намагався зупинити війну, коли був нехай і маленький, але все ж таки.
We will not go to Homel, the city in Belarus that serves as a military base for Russia. We will meet on the border. And we go there to listen to what Russia wants to say. We will not surrender. We will not capitulate. We will not give up a single inch of our territory. This is not the goal of our fight.
Meanwhile, Ukraine claims it has inflicted 4,300 casualties and that Russia's offensive has slowed, with Washington saying Moscow has yet to grab control of the skies. However, the Russians are making headway in the south, with Kiev admitting that the Black Sea city of Berdyansk had fallen, with Kherson on the other side of Crimea also besieged. Moscow has now almost forged a corridor along the Black Sea linking Crimea with separatist-held Donetsk. Kiev says 352 civilians have been killed, including 14 children, since the invasion began last Thursday. Ukrainians got control of their capital, Kiev, where a curfew was enforced. Civilians joined the military force defending the city as more countries agree to ship more weapons to Ukraine. And for the very first time in history, the European Union said it will now pay for and deliver weapons to a country under attack. Ursula von der Leyen said the EU will finance the purchase and delivery of weapons to Ukraine. Take a look.
As the war in Ukraine rages on and Ukrainians fight bravely for their country, the European Union steps up once more its support for Ukraine and the sanctions against the aggressor that is Putin's Russia. For the first time ever, the European Union will finance the purchase and delivery of weapons and other equipment to a country that is under attack. This is a watershed moment. First, we are shutting down the EU airspace for Russians. We're proposing a prohibition on all Russian-owned, Russian-registered and Russian-controlled aircraft. These aircraft will no more be able to land in, take off, or overfly the territory of the European Union. This will apply to any plane owned, chartered, or otherwise controlled by a Russian legal or natural person. So let me be very clear. Our airspace will be closed to every Russian plane, and that includes the private jets of oligarchs too. In another unprecedented step, we will ban in the European Union the Kremlin's media machine. The state-owned Russia Today and Sputnik, as well as their subsidiaries, will no longer be able to spread their lies to justify Putin's war and to sow division in our union.
Meanwhile, the ruble collapsed against the dollar and the euro on the Moscow Stock Exchange on Monday as the West punished Moscow with new sanctions over the Kremlin's invasion of Ukraine. The ruble fell sharply at the start of trading, reaching 100.96 to the dollar, compared to 83.5 on Wednesday, the day before the invasion of Ukraine, and 113.52 to the euro, compared to 93.5 before the assault. And that followed an announcement by the West that it would remove some Russian banks from the SWIFT bank messaging system and freeze central bank assets. In reaction to that, Russian President Vladimir Putin ordered his defense chiefs to put the country's nuclear deterrence forces on high alert and accused the West of taking unfriendly steps against his country.
Приказываю министру обороны и начальнику генерального штаба перевести силы сдерживания российской армии в особый режим несения боевого дежурства. Вы видите, что западные страны предпринимают не только недружественные действия в отношении нашей страны в экономической сфере, я имею в виду нелегитимные санкции, о которых все хорошо знают. Высшие должностные лица ведущих стран НАТО допускают и агрессивные высказывания в адрес нашей страны.
The United States condemned Russian President Vladimir Putin's nuclear forces alert on Sunday and said his conventional ground forces were experiencing logistical problems in their invasion of Ukraine. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said on ABC that, quote, "This is a pattern that we've seen from President Putin through the course of this conflict, which is manufacturing threats that don't exist in order to justify further aggression." A senior U.S. defense official speaking on grounds of anonymity also said that Putin's step came as Ukraine's forces, held by arms from the West, continued to stymie the advance of Russian troops, who this official said had run into fuel supply and other logistical problems.